As far as Ali Mohammed's incarceration, it's been kept secret from the public due to reports in October 2001, as a consequence of 9/11, that he may have been cooperating with the U.S. government, and according to former FBI agent Ali Soufan in 2012, he confirmed that Ali is still awaiting sentencing. But interestingly, Ali Mohammed's fate was far different than another suspect he was connected to while living in Northern California. Through Wadi al-Hajj's number in Nairobi, Kenya, was Mohammed Jamal Khalifa, a brother-in-law of Osama bin Laden. In December of 1994, Khalifa was arrested and detained for several months without bail in Mountain View, California on charges related to the 1993 bombing, where all of a sudden, with no explanation, he was deported to Jordan to face conviction for a sting of theater bombings, which in happenstance, his conviction there was already overturned due to witnesses recanting their testimony. Khalifa then left for the Philippines and returned to Saudi Arabia, where authorities claim he was found to have been funding the Bojinka plot by 5 phone numbers of him found at the Joseph apartment in Manila, where Yusuf's bomb factory and laptop was found after the apartment fire. Khalifa confirmed that he knew Pakistani Wali Khan Aman Shah and was a high school student of his when he was a teacher in Medina, Saudi Arabia. And ironically, so did Osama bin Laden acknowledge who Wali Khan was and spoke highly of him during his interview with John Miller. Shah was arrested by Manila police at another apartment on Singalong Street, which Yusuf had set up in case the Bojinka plan failed. But with Khalifa in the middle, this does show a potential overlap or degree of association between Yusuf KSM family and bin Laden. The day before Khalifa's 50th birthday in 2007, he was killed in southern Madagascar while visiting a gemstone mine. Reports state that around 25 to 30 armed men raided Khalifa's residence in the middle of the night, attacked him with various weapons, and removed his computer and other intelligence materials. His family believed that he was assassinated by Joint Special Operations Command. But still, if they were able to prove, even if circumstantially, that Osama bin Laden's brother-in-law was involved with the Bojinka plot, where Yusuf and his uncle KSM certainly were at, even if dead, then why haven't the FBI been able to prove bin Laden was behind 9/11 and only have him charged still for the USS Cole East Africa Embassy bombings and small terrorist attacks throughout Africa and the Middle East, and not 9/11, and not to mention, neither the 1993 World Trade Center bombing either? Aside for El Sayed Nosair, those reasons not to originate 9/11 or the Trade Center bombing plan to OBL could rely both on impossibility and Ali Mohammed solely, with his military experiences and activities years if not a decade before Al-Qaeda is born, and not being an original participant in the narrative role of being president in Afghanistan or Pakistan, until much later after the war against the Soviets was over. And with so many unanswered questions and cover-ups regarding the destruction of the World Trade Center, if you think the Bojinka plot doesn't ultimately matter in regards to 9/11 just because there's an official narrative of only 4 hijacked planes, it would be worth reconsidering that, as with Ramzi Youssef said in his only interview to Al Hayat newspaper about a new Islamic militant group that would rise up and challenge the U.S., Ramzi Youssef certainly could not have been declaring vengeance be carried out under the limited and official scope of only 19 hijackers and 4 airliners, especially if we know there's been planned coordinated bombing strikes on the U.S. several years before 1993 during the first Gulf War. Was Youssef warning of someone else finishing out the total third phase of the Bojinka plot as 9/11, finishing something he didn't even start? Regardless of targets or if there was someone else behind Osama bin Laden or even Youssef and KSM, who was also said to have traveled to Israel right before the discovery of the Bojinka plot, how serious of a roster of hijacking teams or militants were here on U.S. soil in the fall of 2001, as even what Colonel Mendoza forewarned about actually might have been possible in the original 9/11 attacks. If you want an answer to this, watch the other extensive 6-hour film, 9/11 Bojinka Maximum, Untold Hijacking Attempts of September 11th and 13th from 2020.